Hello and welcome to today's talk. My name is Sri Chellappa. I'm the CEO, co-founder of Engagedly, which is an AI talent management platform for mid-market organizations and a lot of organizations that work with frontline workers. And we are also a proud sponsor of today's sessions as well. And thanks for joining today. I'm a big fan of AI, and I've been a fan of AI ever since it came out. And we were one of the first people to implement AI in our platform over 2.5 years ago, specifically the Gen AI aspect of the AI. And currently, Engagely has a whole multi-agent framework. We are betting big on AI, obviously ethical AI, because we want to make sure that AI is more of a augmentation of human intelligence and decision making and not replacing it. So today I'm going to talk about how AI is really transforming the future of work and how it's transforming the talent strategy, specifically with our clients. At this point, over 90% of our clients have adopted AI from our platform, which is well above the industry average in most organizations. And that's a testament to how, if implemented correctly, AI can be a game changer for a lot of organizations. So today I'm going to talk about, how AI has really shaping the talent management landscape, specifically around employee experiences and employee development. Um, I'm going to actually skip anything around talent recruitment because recruitment actually adopted AI long before many of the other core functions within HR did. And that's a whole area of discussion by itself. So the revolution is here. We know that people are already using AI. I know my daughter does, and even though sometimes she's a student for her homework, but it is something that's pervasive now. One of the fastest adoption curves in the history of our technology that we've had. Over 75% of workers are already using AI today, and over 90% have at least one AI technology. I would bet that by the time this presentation is over, it's going to be up from where these numbers are. But the big impact is going to be on jobs and on efficiency, and that's going to create more jobs in areas if of AI and AI enablement, but a lot fewer jobs on many of the functions that are going to get impacted. And we are already seeing, especially in the call centers, some of the sales functions, we are seeing that some of the manufacturing areas, especially around robotics, that could get affected. Um, and within, other areas like consulting, where there's a lot of impact of AI, even IBM was talking about replacing a tons of jobs with AI, that can really make a big impact. But we all know a lot of this. There's a lot of doom and gloom, but I'm going to talk about why AI can be a beneficial impact to talent management. So let's talk about specifically within talent management, what's really happening, and where we have seen impact happening. So where we've seen AI really help in talent management, and like I said, Engagely released a whole fleet of agents, which I'll talk about in a minute, on specifically which use cases we are solving for. But one of the big things is really improving the decision quality, because one of the big issues a lot of organizations have is a disparate set of data in different systems, and the aspect of performance management and other types of employee data that is also not necessarily all in one place for an organization to look at. But more importantly, you can make better decisions when you have all this data in one place. But you don't need to necessarily know technology now to run business reports. You can use AI to look at the data and give you some insights. You can, for example, look at AI and just cut across the entire employee's life cycle of their performance and their goal management and their learning and development, certification, and ask AI to help you understand where this employee is really good at, what type of feedback they have received over the past few months and or maybe even over a year, and really give you that insight that otherwise you would have to spend a lot of time digging on it. And the other aspect is around biases. If you have organizations with multiple, locations with different managers coming from different ethnicities or culture background, or different biases that can get introduced in the system, you can use AI to really identify and flag those biases. We're not going to let AI make the decision and fix the biases. We're going to at least let them surface it. And some of it may be biases, some of them may be legitimate. But it is where the human can come in and look at data across the board and say where there might be some biases within the organization, so that you have a level playing field for all employees. The second thing that is very big that I'm a big fan of is personalized employee growth. Employee growth is one of those areas where, if not done properly, you'll have two impacts. One, the best people will leave because they want to go somewhere where they're growing and learning. And two, you're gonna get suboptimal productivity from your people. So if you can have a personalized approach to employee growth, where the manager doesn't have to spend too much time thinking about how do you um, help this employee grow, because not every manager is good at that. Not every manager has been trained on that. And they themselves struggle on their own growth in many cases because the organization necessarily did not give them the tools. However, with AI, you can have a personalized journeys built on aspirations that the employee can express, which some of that we implemented in Engagely as well. So that's one of the big things that we can use AI to say, hey, based on these interests and your career paths and career goal that you have, here's what the tool can recommend trainings you can take. It can recommend experiences you can have. It can recommend the type of even mentors that you should get, things of this nature. And then obviously that leads to the second part, which is greater manager impact. So managers can then be more strategic rather than trying to wordsmith every word and try to understand exactly where the employee needs to grow and then try to set goals. They can be more strategic and set more effective goals, more smart type goals instead of vague goals that a lot of people end up doing. And that's something we see a lot in many organizations where people are not trained to set really good goals and or have really good development conversations. You can actually make this impact with this AI. Organizational alignment is another area where we've seen a big impact, where AI has been able to help um, align better goals to the organization. So if your CEO and your executive team has set a goal, you as a manager can say, based on my role in this organization, in my department, what are the specific goals I can undertake that will help move that needle on the overall organizational goal, and the AI can help you with that. And we have organizational agents, sorry, goals agents within the organizational tools of our platform that can help with that. The other part of the talent management is really identifying who your high risk talent is. When I say high risk, they mean two different things actually. One is risk, meaning the person is not performing well. They're probably somebody who's bringing down the overall performance of others as well, maybe because they're toxic, maybe they're just not a good team player. But also identify the talent risk in the mechanism of identifying who might be at risk of leaving the organization so that you can take some proactive action. Um, and you can use different tools like listening tools, pulse tools, but also you can look at market data like payment compensation that people get versus what they get, where people are getting disengaged. You're frequently seeing that this person does not show up for meetings. You can use AI to really gather the insight and identify talent risks in the organization. But on the flip side, you can also use this to identify which talent is being ignored that you should be looking at for growth and development and for promotions in the future. Because there are hidden gems everywhere in the organization. And if you're a large enough organizations, there are going to be a few that will not speak up in meetings, but you can still identify those using some aspect of data and AI sitting on top of the data. The last part is really around our ROI and efficiency gains. We work with a lot of mid-market organizations, which doesn't have necessarily a whole team of HR managers, right? They have two or three HR people, and they're expected to do recruitment and payroll and benefits and performance and rewards and recognition and learning and development. I mean, a whole host of things. And you can't ask them to be an expert in everything. And that's where we can get a lot of efficiency gains by deploying smart agents in the HR space in talent management, where the agent can help them craft really good surveys. The agent can help them craft a good performance management process. The agent can help them craft a good L&D program for the organization. And all of those tools are now available. I mean, many of them are being used by our customers with Engagely, which is one of the big things that we feel is impactful. So it's not necessarily replacing HR's role, it's making them more effective because they can be experts at everything. So, you can see some of the productivity that can be gained. There's a lot of time that can be saved. If you spend a lot of time creating and launching and managing surveys, for example, or launching your exit interviews for employees leaving, or onboarding programs which can be automated, and learning and development programs that can be personalized, that's a lot of hours you have to spend both as a HR leader, but also as manager that can be saved using AI. Now, it's important to emphasize that this is really about improving the quality, but not necessarily changing the decision-making process. The judgment call on what to take from the AI and what not to take still has to be at the human level. There's a lot more efficiency around, as I mentioned, around hiring that has taken place over the years. Although there are some other, horror stories from that as well. And then there's a lot of, areas of performance improvement. People are being more productive with AI, and that's a good thing overall. So, without getting into too much of Engagely's pitch, I just wanted to give a quick examples of some of the AI tools that we have deployed for our clients that have been very, very instrumental in helping our clients be successful. We have obviously a whole host of tools for performance and learning and development, recognition, listening tools, and then career pathing and skill intelligence. And we have a whole host of agentic AI tools that I've built on top of this that can orchestrate some of the mechanisms. And that's where our Marissa agentic AI framework comes into play, which has really revolutionized many of the talent intelligence and talent management functions within an organization with minimal amount of HR staff and HR leadership that's there in these organizations. Because we are working with a lot of mid-market companies, like I mentioned earlier, which don't have dozens and dozens of HR people. So an example of some of the things we've done with our agent is, summarizing feedback and getting team goals and getting insights from that, helping managers give effective feedback. It can also help with creating meaningful praise instead of just generic praises. We help with generating goals, alignment of goals, creating very personalized development plans. We also have, AI-powered HR assistant. This is a big one where you can upload all your resources, your training videos, and your benefit manual, your employee handbook, your vacation policy, all of that stuff, and then let your employees just ask questions to an HR bot that can answer a lot of these questions. That way, you don't have to necessarily answer every question as an HR leader. So think about the efficiency gains you can have at scale when you do things like that. Some of the new things that we are building out that will come out is also, automating a lot of the processes using conversational AI, where you can build workflows and forms just with having a conversation with an AI agent and launch them. So that's basically at a broad level, and there's obviously a lot more AI agents coming in the future. One of the big ones that we are very proud of is our talent management agent, which can really look at a skill intelligence within the organization and build out your entire skill competency framework, skill and competency framework, and then align them to different job titles and build out job descriptions and align them to each individual employee based on the job descriptions, but also based on their aspirations, it can suggest new skills they should have. So this entire framework, which would have taken hundreds of thousands of dollars and expensive consultants, can now be done in a few hours within a platform, less than half a day to build this out for a mid-market organization. So think about the gains you can get by doing that, and also the level of personalized development you can have for your organization without having to, hire and spend a lot of money doing this. That's just one of many examples where it's really revolutionizing talent management and doing things in a much more sophisticated way than would be otherwise possible without AI. So that's basically it. I'll just quickly finish up with saying that there are a lot of things you can do, but start small. Start with quick wins. One of the things that we always recommend with our clients is start with something simple as using AI for building out your survey tools and launching surveys. You can do a lot of different types of surveys, engagement survey, and employee onboarding satisfaction survey, things of this nature. Or you can use it to build out your HR help desk with our Marissa agent, where you can upload all your handbooks and HR manuals, and then make it easy to query by an employee. So those are some really good high ROI efficiency gains that you can have. Obviously, invest in training for your employees. And then, focus on how can you make your managers more effective, because not every manager is trained to be a manager. Many of them get promoted because they stay in the role long enough, or they get promoted because they were really good at that individual contributor role, and then they became a manager because they were so good at the job. But that doesn't necessarily mean they were really good at managing people. And that's where AI and some of the tools around employee development and coaching can really help these managers. So that's basically some of the key areas I would say in terms of building out an action plan. And then try to assess what things are working, what things are not working, and look at things that are working and how you can scale that, and then look at things that are not working, maybe even drop it, and look at other things and keep iterating so that you can keep doing things in a slow, measured way, but continue to scale out the efficiency and the effectiveness of your organization with AI. So that's all I have. The future of work is now. All the talk about AI impacts is happening today. So I hope you guys can take something out of this discussion to think about two or three things you can implement within your organization and make an effective AI implementation success in your organization. So thank you.